Everyone on base, until instructions are given, do not make a sound. Stop all construction work. I repeat, do not make a sound. This is not a drill.
I was honestly a bit tired, but that's okay. I wanted to play it, and I'm happy I have. I've actually solidified some of my thoughts on the game since yesterday when I was playing it. I'll work through the bruh. The bruh. I think I'd be enjoying some parts of the game a lot more if I didn't have to deal with the noise every once in a while whenever that fucking wind sound effect plays. But still, though. I need to get the screen all aligned. I remember what we were doing. Part of the reason why I want to play it tonight specifically is because the game is still very clear in my head from when I played yesterday. And I've got that sneaking suspicion if I put this off, I won't get around to it for a while. And then when I get back to it, I'll be like, what the fuck was I doing? And I'm pretty close to the end, to my knowledge. I think I only have to play for like another 2 or 3 hours, and I'll be at the end of the game. Alright, here... Yes. I need to align the screen and all that, though. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Let's see, I just have to align everything. We might be starting off... I knew it was going to be in here, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to be out of this room in just a moment. It's that fucking wind sound effect. Actually, I should probably move for the moment, because I can't exactly see the top of the screen very well. I need to go to an area where the screen's kind of bright, and this next area is pretty bright. Let's see, in here I will perfect the screen. We're looking for fuel right now. What do I have in my inventory right now? Items. Okay, we have the VHS tape, first aid kit. Is there anything in the apartment complex? This building over here, right. There's still this one room over here that I just have not been able to enter. Not this room, but it's a bit more in this direction. Over here, this door right here. There has to be a way to open this. You can enter inside every other door inside here, basically. How the hell would you go over to Danny's room, though? Maybe I should just come back to it, because, like, my thought process. I need to get to Danny's room somehow, but I have no entrance to it. I need something to seal up the one room over here. In fact, before I go, maybe I should explore this area first. I'm going to go explore through here first because, to my knowledge, over here is where we last were, and I kind of need to do a whole sweep of everything because there's several missions I have to do, which I haven't had the quality of. Alright, so somewhere around here, there's, like... How do I word it? So let's charge that up. There should be an item that I need to seal up this crack in the underwater area over here. I've already looked over there, though, and there's nothing in the immediate area. I also need to find something to help carry that dolphin over. And maybe I should relocate Danny, because... Well, actually, no. Yeah, I need to re-find Danny. In fact, maybe I should go back to him. Now that I've go talk to her. That would kind of make logical sense. I don't know. Part of me is thinking that probably is the best course of action, but part of me also wants to look around a little bit more. Hell. Even though I just came over here, I think that actually going to go see where Danny's up to is the best option, because I need Danny to operate the control lift at the moment. If I can get him to operate the control lift, then maybe we can move wherever the fuck baby was born in the breeding pits of the aquarium. And then once we pull that out, I can fucking save Sarah, and once I've saved Sarah, that's another person rescued. So much to do. This part of the game is basically where backtracking is the most important. The game has been mostly kind of linear outside of going to a few areas again. But even when you return to those areas, it's still like linear, if that makes sense. At this point in the game, you're kind of having to go and re-explore everything to make progress. Yes, there's a timer at the upper left. That's my air counter, because we're in an underwater facility, and apparently something about air is important to this. I also need to find Anthony, that's true. Anthony, the big guns-ho guy who was my commander back when I was part of the military or something. I haven't seen him since we defeated that giant rat monster. I pull out my gun, though, just for some traveling. Some light travel, you know. No, we don't want to actually probably encounter the monster. Yeah, it's too far away to reach us right now. Now, so lead us back to the apartment area. I might have more of that wind sound effect to deal with, but I'll just edit that all out. Oh, Anthony was the chimpanzee, really? Okay, well, I also need to find the chimpanzee, you're right. Bless you. Now, I don't think Du Bois is back in his room. He went to the energy reactor section of the facility, and he's trying to take care of the fact that the power is failing. So Du Bois, I'm just going to say I do not have to concern myself with right now. He's off someplace. Still, though, maybe there's someone in his room or some important clue. I haven't really looked around that well. I know that there's a model of the whole facility we're in right here, and that's fancy. But that's not what I need right now. I also know there's some files in here that talk about the history of this place, because Du Bois was the architecture. I still think that Anthony, the chimpanzee, apparently, is the one who's responsible for the outbreak happening right now. I don't know, there's like this sneaky suspicion that he's the one who's causing all this. Because whenever I've seen him, things typically go wrong shortly after. And I haven't seen him in a while, and all hell is breaking loose. Alright, how are you doing over here? Where'd you go, Anthony? We'll fucking find the monkey. I'm waiting the monkey. The monkey's gonna like transform into some boss creature or something when I find him. Then again, I've already fought a transformed human as a boss monster. I fought a transformed rat as a boss monster. The two bosses I fought so far. There's also been transformed dogs, but they're not bosses. I'll go check in here. Maybe I'll get some help from the control deck. Somebody here might know something. The idea of being in a submarine is terrifying. I've been in a submarine before. Then again, I like underwater places, so I'm not really terrified of them. I'd be more terrified to be in space, I guess. What I was going to say, though, is that there was a sequence when we were actually in a literal submarine earlier in this game, and it collapsed and turned over, so everything was upside down. And we had to break out of the submarine by launching ourselves out of a torpedo. As a torpedo, he went hurtling out. It was pretty funny. Anyways, though. Yep, this game has a whole air business thing going on, so... I also know what I'm trying to do right now is trying to find fuel so I can go use this deep-sea diving suit to go crawl on the floor of the ocean. That's my ultimate goal for the moment. What I'm trying to work towards right now. There's probably no one in the conference room. I'm just going to peek my head in and just confirm that. Fear of water is something which I can sort of understand, I guess. I don't know. I'm not really afraid of water, but I understand, of course, that you could drown and all that, but I don't know. Just personally speaking, it doesn't really scare me. I actually just like water settings and underwater facilities, which this game is set in. However, though, it's sort of weird that I'm not afraid of that, because I am afraid of being in deep space, and honestly speaking, deep space isn't too different from being underwater, I guess. There's a few differences, obviously, but it's like for one fact, you can't go outside without a suit into space. You'd get killed easily. But then there's no like monsters, at least monsters that we know of, that dwell in space, whilst there's various really weird creatures who live deep in the sea. In fact, this is one thing which I just want to make a comment on, and one thing that kind of disappoints me about a lot of these underwater set games. I don't think enough water horror games really make a big emphasis on how fucking weird some of the creatures in the sea are. Some of the fucking, like, actual animals that live in the water almost seem like perfect horror creatures all on their own. But yet, there's not enough games that really feature that sort of really weird, terrifying sea life that lives deep down. I don't know, it's just... I always thought that was kind of weird, like even this game. I mean, it's a cool game. I'm fighting transformed humans, dogs, rats. I haven't actually fought anything fish-like, though, and this whole game is set underwater. And that's not just this game. I mean, in Resident Evil Revelations, there was kind of a fish theme going with a few of the enemies, but not really. They didn't really utilize it the best. And same goes for the other game, Cold Fear. Cold Fear was a bit more aquatic. There was a few more enemies that were a bit more aquatic than most other water-themed horror games, but it still wasn't very aquatic themed. Most of the enemies were still like zombie-like humans. So yeah, I don't know. I just think that's such a it's such a weird missed opportunity, because there's actually a fair amount of horror games set at the sea or in water, and this game is literally set underwater. And yet I haven't fought anything that's fish-like at all in the whole course of this game. Anyways, though, Out we go. Where will we start? I don't fucking know. I might have to go investigate the other sector. Oh, I forgot monsters spawn down here. Let's go take care. Peekaboo, I hear you. Oh, there it is. I still have invincibility frames when I do that. These monsters are really easy with a shotgun. If I'll be honest, the shotgun I'm currently wielding I think is very overpowered. It kills most monsters very easily. Anyways, let's go take a peek back over in this direction. My suspicion is that I need to be exploring a bit more around the medical bay if I can recall how to get back there. Now then, let's take a look-see. This is one of those areas that's more just kind of useless. It's essentially a few elevators that you take to get to a whole different section. I guess it's good for cinematic reasons, but gameplay-wise it's kind of like just tedium. Tedium. And out we go. Alright, so let's go investigate. Now, Danny might actually be back in the control room now, and if he is, that means I can make some more progress, which is, of course, great news for me. Oh, no, I'm really hoping he's actually here. Because if he's not, then it's going to just be more things for me to deal with. Alright, so Danny, are you actually in the facility? Fuck, it doesn't look like he's there. Now maybe this game is just cheap. Maybe he's actually in here. I just can't see him through the fucking mirror. But I'm crossing my fingers for this one. I really am. If he's not in here, he's probably in the gondola room. Jeez, he's not here. It's the control panel for the docking lift. Only Danny can operate it. Danny and his fancy hand self. Alright, I'll have to fucking... If he's not next to the gondola, I honestly don't know where he went. He doesn't have a room. At least I don't know where his room is. I thought that Sarah didn't have a room. I found that her room was actually in the sea farm area, which is kind of a weird design decision, I guess. Now, I believe this is the entrance to the gondola. Yep, it's the gondola port. Let's take a look over here. It's over there, over here. People are, because I was talking about how Deep Fear was only released in Europe and America, there's more to game publishing and releasing than the fact that it was done. Like, here's my stance. Yes, it does suck that when there's a game that isn't released in a specific region, but at the exact same time, I think that you make it too black and white. You don't understand that it does cost a lot of money to publish a game and to release it in a country. You have to distribute it to a lot of retailers, you have to create a lot of copies. The game also has to be recoded in some areas because, especially back in the old days, games in European and America territories, and even Japan territories, TVs in general in those areas run at different frames per second, which requires you to reprogram more of the game than you might expect. On top of that, though, it's just things like liability and if it's really worth the effort or not. Because keep in mind that time is money, and if they want to take the time to release it, that's because they'll be liable. And that they have to put people on the project, and they'd have to work on that instead of working on something else. On top of the fact that, you know, when this game was not released in America, it was made because the Sega Saturn was going down, which means that really there was no purpose to release it. Which, I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have liked this game to be released in America, but I'm just thinking that it makes sense at the exact same time. Why release a game on a console that wasn't too, you know, successful? The Saturn didn't do great at all, it did pretty terribly, and release it at a time where the console was basically being shut down. Now then, yeah, you think that Chief's expression is what I'm thinking of when I'm doing this. Still though, check through here. I'm going to now then back to this. Now this next area leads to the sea farm. Maybe I'm supposed to go to the sea farm. Thinking, what would I do over there? Jeez, I don't know. I guess I'm right here, and the sea farm is like smaller than the medical bay. The medical bay is actually quite large, but I haven't actually explored the medical bay yet, so I'm actually awfully curious what's over there. It's the one area I haven't been to really yet. But then I'm also evasive to actually go there on account of the fact that, you know, the whole sea bay has like so many switching songs. It keeps on having that fucking wind sound. So that's fun. Okay, Sarah, let's go check in on you. I haven't really like fixed and checked to see if she's doing okay anytime recently, so she wants me to move this animal. Yeah, there's nothing really new going on with you, is there? John, don't press yourself too hard, please. Actually, I can probably save my game around here at least. Let me get around you. Take the moment. Air system up. And save game. And there we go, progress. You know, it's kind of interesting to think, what if this game actually did end up being some Resident Evil killer? And if there was like a whole Deep Fear franchise? Does Sega still own the rights to this game? Because I know they published this game. And if they own the rights to this, they probably would never do anything with it. They have several other franchises that are far more iconic than Deep Fear that they should be doing stuff with, but I'm just thinking, be kind of imagining some alternate realm where Sega makes Deep Fear games. Anyways, through here. Now then. I'm gonna go visit that cow again. See what the cow's been up to. You know, you can learn a lot from a cow. I knew Sarah's room's locked. That's one of the other two rooms I can't enter into right now, that room. The Danny's room, wait, yeah, Danny, right, his room is over there. Danny's room and Sarah's room, I just can't enter. I just realized that I just put together that Danny's room is the guy who I was talking about. I can't enter his room either. There are two rooms like the last two rooms of this whole facility. I haven't been able to enter outside of the energy facility. Alright. Sea cow, I'm coming to you! I'll embrace you in my big, strong arms! Actually, my arms aren't quite as big as good old Anna's. But that's okay. I'll give a cow some love anyway. There's our beautiful cow. She's bred experimentally for an indoor environment. What a beautiful old sea cow. And then around this whole area, this room is such an oddity. There's like nothing in here. Nah, nothing around, so yeah. I know it's a brilliant sea cow. Our genetically modified cow to be able to live underwater. Now back out here. Now over here is probably going to still be locked off. What I picked up last time, I got the fuel here. Not the fuel, but like the tank fuel. Let me click through all this. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much for me to do over here. I think I need to go to the medical bay. It's my biggest guess. It's either going to be... I gotta get to the door here. But I wanted to just see if there was anything over here I need to do at the moment. Because there's like more plot threads that direction. Gardening tools. There's nothing useful here. Interesting. Now, if I'm correct, this is the area where I'm going to soon get to a fucking elevator, and they're going to tell me that I don't have enough elevatorness to fucking use it. I still think that how this game gives you unlimited health items and unlimited ammo is such an odd design decision. I'm not like... I'm not sure if I like it or I dislike it. It's just... On one hand, it kind of eliminates some of the survival element of the game. Well, on the other hand, I'd say that this game has some other enjoyable elements that I'm enjoying more than its survival element. Particularly, I'm liking the story, the cheesy voice acting, the music. There's a lot of cutscenes. This game actually has a lot more story than I was anticipating, and it has a lot more CG cutscenes than I was anticipating. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'm not quite sure how long all the CG cutscenes in this game has, but it goes on for a while. All right, so this area is still closed out, which means I have to go over to the medical bay. Got it. Medical bay, here I come. La-di-da-da, la-di-da-da. Peekaboo, I see you. Let's see where we're going to chew. It's funny because I'm about to go see a cow, and cows chew grass. Grinding that up in their multiple stomachs. So is the whole rumor about cows having, like, stones in their stomach true? Or is that, like, exaggerated? Because I know that they grind it up somehow in their stomachs, but I'm not quite sure if it was actually stones or whatnot. Let's peek ahead over here. Meanwhile, at the Sea Farm passageway... seems like it's fine. I guess then the only area I can check out right now is probably the apartment and the medical bay. I've checked everything else but those two areas. Now, I should have checked the apartment when I was in the area, but I feel like it was either going to be... I feel like it's going to be the medical bay. The reason why I feel like it's going to be that is because I haven't actually looked in the medical bay at all. I've kind of looked around the apartment, so I didn't really spot anything off the top, but to be fair, I didn't check every room. So I have my sneaking suspicion there might be more to see in the medical bay. I'm going to ignore that and charge away over there. Alright, medical bay. Maybe, just maybe, there's something... Like, you know, the last time I saw fucking Anthony was in the medical bay. He's probably somewhere over here. Maybe then once I get at Anthony, I'll get something else, and it'll become like this whole chain reaction. Actually, wait. Actually, I'm remembering the issue I was running into. I don't fucking remember how to get to the medical bay. Right, that's what was stopping me from going to the medical bay. It's all coming back to me now. Because, in fact, let me look at my map. Is there even an entrance to the medical bay here? How did I get to the medical bay? Let's see, memory. Wait, we got to the medical bay. Right, it's all coming back now. The reason is because the medical bay I only reached to once I escaped the submarine. It wasn't connected to this area. It was connected to... Oh, boy. So I've been thinking of this wrong. So I can't go to the medical bay. That's the reason I haven't been to it. It's because the medical bay was locked off and I got there from a submarine. Right. And the way that I could get there is currently locked off, so I'm not supposed to return to the medical bay right now. That means that what I'm looking for has to be in the apartments. There's no way about it. It's definitely somewhere around there. Because, simply put, there's nowhere else to go. Back to the medical bay, or back to the apartments I go. The only problem is I have no idea where in the apartments I'm supposed to be going. Let's take a trip through here. Up, down, and still all around. I'm just gonna sort of run my way there. I'm just going to ignore everything until then. I mean, I should have remembered that. I don't know. It's because in the game, you kind of come back in an area that looks very similar to another area when you go to the medical bay. And the medical bay is right next to the apartments, but I remember that the entrance to the actual medical bay is closed right now. Let me just pass by through here. I'm going to take the ladder, because to me that's a bit faster. Not by going through the storage facility, though. So I'm gonna have to do the fun task of investigating every room in the apartment. There's probably something in there that I need. Let's see. I'll ring this for the second to climb back up. It's honestly probably the fuel which I'm looking for. Well, no. I know where the fuel is. I just need to find an item to be able to weld the area shut that's hiding the fuel for me. Because it's right now underwater, and that because of the water pressure. Because now suddenly the game wants to pay attention to water pressure. I need to find something to get that whole area like shut closed so it stops filling in with water. And then drain it. Alright, I guess I'll start from here and just work my way around. Because I'm on the second floor, although I can go to the first floor. This is the projection room, alright. I still think there's another videotape somewhere hidden, which I just haven't found yet. Because I only have a videotape labeled 2. It didn't really do much, it didn't tell me anything. It honestly was kind of a weird tape in the first place. It had the word sexy written on it. There's actually something new here. It's just the shell box, which means I have more shotgun shells, but... Anyways, it's just that this whole area... Actually, though, because there was that shell box, that probably means that, yes, I should check all the rooms, because there might be new stuff in them. The videotape had the word sexy written on it, but all it was a videotape showing the shelf, like the floor plans of the Sea Fox. But it had the number 2 written on it, which implies there's a first one, and I haven't actually seen the first one. I was going to pull out my shotgun, because I'm most likely going to have to fight monsters. First, I'll check out the women's restroom. Sure, why not? Or men's restroom, I forget you go inside the men's one. The laboratory. I can't kill the monster in here, though. Make sure there's nothing new in here. Easy as pie. Not anything inside any of these. Nothing inside the urinals. I don't think there's anything around the toilets. Turns out there's nothing people stuff in toilets. You know, by playing other horror games, you might think otherwise. Cha-cha-cha-cha. I think that toilets are probably, for better or worse, one of the most common hiding places for random-ass items. You know, toilets, their importance in the horror genre. For better or worse, part of their importance comes from the Silent Hill games. Next up, I'm going to check out this restaurant, after I kill this monster. Hey, beauty beast. Easy enough. Alright, so this is the mess hall, or as I was calling it, the restaurant. It's not actually a restaurant, but you know, whatever. The Gluten Mess Hall. It reads, buy food ticket here. Reads, okay. I was gonna say, though, again, this area probably isn't gonna have anything. This is where I say, ha, yeah, that did make me jump. However, I just want to say, it made me jump because I haven't experienced it in a while, but it's kind of weird how this game is so over-reliant on, like, the enemy dropping down from the ceiling jump scares. It's so common. In fact, I haven't experienced any other jump scares besides that. The jukebox actually looks like it's on right now, which is weird because it looked like it was off last time. There's a jukebox here, which unfortunately it's probably still not going to do anything. The Easter egg where you have to press it 100 times and it'll play some weird song. Okay. Nothing though. Oh yeah, there's a charge system here. What? That's about the extent outside of the story scene I had earlier involving the Rambo the dog. The bulldog to be exact. Monster is jamming out to invisible music. Ah, shrug still. Invisible music. You can't actually see music. I mean music you can't hear. It comes out like fucking dog whistles. You can't hear it. That doesn't mean it's not there. Next up, the shower room. Now, this room is still, in my opinion, for some whatever reason, the creepiest room in the game. So this game isn't very creepy to me. But this room, now keep in mind this monster wasn't here before, and the monster is glitching through the walls. I'm going to ignore that right now. Oh, there it is. Speaking of which... Ow. Get me up, I'll start shooting it. These rats are surprisingly powerful. You'd think they wouldn't be as powerful as they actually are. They do a lot of damage, and they take a lot of bullets. Enemies that look a lot tougher than them are actually a lot weaker than them. Still, though, the shower room hasn't actually served, like, any purpose. I don't even think I found any items in here. It's just kind of weird. Creepy. No one's really hiding anything in showers these days, either. Or even in broom buckets. Broom bucket sounds like a perfect place to hide some ammunition. I think I've been playing too many video games. Alright, back out I go. I think that's about all that's on this floor, which means I'm just going to have to go over to the third or fourth floor. Or third or first floor. I'm going to check out the first floor first because it's small overall. Yeah, this will lead me back to where I was, so yeah. Time to take the elevator. Elevator, embrace me in your big arms, and let's go over to the first floor. Then the third floor, and I'll see if there's anything that we're missing. There's only like 2 doors down here, so it shouldn't take very long to explore. Now this would normally lead to the medical bay, but with that shock, the lock to the area has been damaged. Turns out we can't go over there. I did not mean to open up my map. There's nothing over here. Trust me, I've checked multiple times. But nope, this whole area, you can't run over here to this little nice kind of picnic area they made. I like areas that are superficially made to be like parks for whatever reason. And an underwater facility. You know what, I haven't actually been in here for a while. This is one of the areas that a lot of monsters I never took care of, and I got a hamburger from it. Also has the big wind noise, which you know is my favorite thing ever. Alright. Kapowie! And I missed that one. I'll get you next time. After I reload my gun. Kapowie! Am I still alive? Kapowie! Those guys are so weak. They were so powerful earlier until you get that shotgun. They are super weak to it. So this is like an area where you can buy food, but they're all out of hamburgers. So you know you're in a pretty terrible place when you have to deal with that. There's frozen food. Oh, okay. Keep over all those frozen pizzas. I'm gonna run over this way. One of my favorite things to do in old horror games: run up against the wall and slide to the left or right or whatever direction. Alright, how about the middle section? If your answer was no, there's nothing through here, you'd probably be right. But you know, I'm just investigating in case of something I missed, or if something came here that wasn't here before. The answer to that question seems to be no, there is nothing I missed in here, except monsters I purposely avoided before. But whatevs, that's one room, which means there's only one other room on the first floor. And if it isn't this, if there's nothing on the third floor, or then I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. But I'll keep on trying. You have the sea cow just in case you want more hamburgers. Shh, infinite. Normally I'd fix that sound, but this is such a small room, I'm just gonna quickly like scan it first. Now to go take the elevator to the third floor and scan that area. To be fair, I haven't actually really looked around the third floor very much, so it's probably up there. And it kind of makes sense, because the third floor is where I need to get the item. And this game typically has a pattern of having what you need pretty close to where you need it. There's been 1 or 2 exceptions to that rule, but, you know, it's not in storage. I was just in there. I haven't checked the boys and girls room again ever since everything's changed. Here's the men's room. Let's see, I'm gonna still check around here. Somewhere around here is some item. I'm running up against beds, but nothing's happening. This is magic in action. It's nothing, like, guess the men's room really didn't have anything else for me. Back out we go. Alright, then we have the women's room, and I think there's like... Danny's room is closed, and I have to go to that one whole sector that I haven't really looked at. Okay, this is Danny's room, I believe. Danny keeps the door closed, turns out. Did I pass the women's room? No, wait. Where was the women's room? Now that I'm thinking on it, I don't actually fully remember. This is such a weird feeling. Was it right next to the men's room? Maybe this... No, wait, no, that's the projection. Wait, is that the projection? No, what? Actually, no, this is not... This is probably the women's room, right here. Yeah, there we go, that's the women's room. Thank you, I almost forgot about it. Oh, there was something right there. It's just a shell box, which isn't useful, don't get me wrong. I'm happy I found it. It means I can carry more shotgun shells, which is the gun of choice at the moment. But it also isn't anything which I need to continue forward with the story. I'm feeling up everything. I don't think the ladies are hiding anything. Neither were the men. Guess it's probably... The reason I'm sighing at the prospect of it being the next area is because I have to switch rooms a lot in the next area. And there's a lot of my favorite wind noise to come and comfort me. So I'm going to have to keep on clicking the screen. But, you know, whatever. Gotta get it done. Well, time to investigate all these walls. I don't understand what this area is in the apartment complex. Most of the other areas are pretty easy to understand what they kind of are. To be fair though, this doesn't really seem like much of an apartment complex. There's a single room for guys and a single room for girls, and Danny's room, I guess. It's not very apartment-like, it's just... It's a quiet sea. At 300 meters below sea level, even the sunlight won't reach. That is indeed what the sea does. Alright, let's fit up over this wall. This wall better give me the goods. Alright, I didn't get much of anything from that. Let's go check out... I guess I'll check out the poison room. And then I'll go downstairs. And I'll check out the areas around there. Alright, so poison room should come first. Poison! Put that face mask on, because we're going poison rooming. I'm gonna feel all these... I'm gonna just have to like call this whole video segment whenever it goes up on YouTube, feeling the walls. Because that's what I'm doing. Feeling the walls, and I'm mashing the X button, which is the A button on other consoles. It's very invigorating. Here does great work on your thighs. I'll check out the behind area first. Let's see... Yep, nothing. From a distance, it sometimes looks like I'm wearing some weird sort of clown face. But anyways... It's the communicator. It's broken. It's broken. I couldn't have guessed. Still broken. Just thought I'd let you know. Alright. And out we go. Now, I don't actually think it's in this next area. Partially because that would be a little bit too obvious, I guess. But still going to investigate, then go downstairs, and go upstairs. There is nothing useful here. At least thank you for telling me. How about against this wall? In this pile of shit? Ah, there's nothing there. Interesting. I mean, it kind of almost looks like there's something right there. But nope, it's nothing. And in here, the room is all flooded. I guess next up will be the downstairs area. The the flooded areas where I need something to seal it off with, not anything besides that. Elevator Mencia, take me to my second floor. Sure, why not? Down the rabbit hole we go. And if by rabbit hole you mean elevator, then you'd be on top of something. Which is funny because we're going down, so we'd probably be actually under something. And in this wall we find Anna's room, which, honestly speaking, I'm actually expecting to find anything in here. But hey, might as well look, right? That was a weird load. Why is the game suddenly taking a lot longer to load? Did I do something? Is it that there's something so magical in this room that really... Why are you in here, actually? Can I do anything with you? Is it you that's causing this room to load slowly? That's kind of weird. A little bit of a shrug on that one. Let's see. Down over here. I guess to be fair, the one area I haven't really looked at is actually over here. In this storage room. I don't know, the storage room isn't really, like, important. At least it's never struck me as being important. Actually, I think I killed everything in here already. Take some time to refuel my bullets with everything. Well, there's only one more room that I haven't actually looked at. And if it's not in here, I have no idea. I've looked in every room I can look in right now. I'll give it a shot, though. Might just look at that walkthrough if I don't quite get this here. Because I swear I've looked everywhere. I felt the walls everywhere. I'll feel every wall. I'll join those mechanics that stop feeling walls at the very beginning of the game. I know that she's in here. Is there something I'm supposed to pick up around these parts? Mirror system. Charge. Save game. Might as well when I'm in the neighborhood. Now anything along these desks, these air tanks, these papers. I already know I stole the data from the computer. It's going to tell me I already have the data for it. I already know that. Anything around these parts. I know I'm supposed to be using Big Jim to hop down here. The suit. I guess you weren't able to get the air tank because the parts box wouldn't open from the water pressure. If we can fix the leak, but we'll need some secret weapon. Like Navy's Gum Gum. Ask Danny about the Gum Gum. Was the... Wait. Game? Game? Are you shitting me? I have to go back and talk to her? Fuck me. Well, at least I know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Time to go talk to Danny. Alright, Danny's room though. Let's see. He's got a pretty nice abode, all things considered. There's a girl and a middle-aged lady in the picture. That's a little bit too real for this game. I mean, I'm sure it's probably like his mother and his sister or something. But like, I have a picture of my wife in my room, and it's a drawn picture. Why does he have a real-ass picture when I have a drawn picture in my room?
That's my family.
Sorry, I didn't mean to snoop.
It's okay. I was supposed to be on that with my family. You don't get to see your family for several months when you're on a submarine. But that morning, an emergency came up and I returned to the base. My wife and daughter were mad. They went on the tour without me, and that was it. I was first notified of the accident after my return, 2 months later. Panic is not permissible on a submarine, so bad news has to wait. I got sick of the military and quit. But it's strange, before I realized it, I was back in the ocean.
I know. I should hit the ocean, but I'm here.
Well, what did you want?
I wanted to ask about the gum gun.
It's a gun that shoots out a special resin. It's in the Navy area. Are you planning to do something crazy again?
Well, yeah.
Well, okay. The lift is ready. Go ahead and I'll follow.
Okay.
Now he's gonna make me use the lift. Let me first look around here and make sure there's nothing else. However, though, okay, so wife and daughter, not mother and sister. Which I find weird, because that means, why did you leave that comment on Anna? He said earlier to tell her that she's cute when she's quiet. Are they siblings? Maybe? Possibly? Or... I don't think that girl is his daughter. Unless, of course, she's gotten a lot older since that picture. Maybe? I don't know. Alright, so now I know where I need to go now. Let's see. Peek, rook, work away. Poking about. So now I need to go back to the freaking control room, and now he'll operate it for me to get someplace. That's fine. Whisk me away. Backtracking. I'll embrace backtracking with open arms, because why the hell not? I was gonna break straight right room. I'm gonna have to edit this fucking Let's Play a lot. Just because that fucking noise. Where the fuck did that girl go? Holy hell, she's missing. There's a note here. I guess I'll investigate. You've obtained Genna's letter. Dear John, Anthony's missing. I'm gonna find him. I'll be back soon. Don't worry. Genna. I guess I can save my game. I don't know. Genna leaving sounds like a bad idea to me. Especially to find fucking Anthony the monkey, who I'm still pretty sure is the fucking cause of all this. Anyways, though, time to take the ladder downwards. If you don't know which way to go, try it down. Because eventually you'll hit the bottom. I mean, maybe that one guy, the army guy who survived, maybe he's on the submarine. But I can't actually enter the submarine, so I don't actually know.